The best thing about this breakout and why it's going to go for so much more, oh so much more, is the topic of today, as Bitcoin is back above 71,000 bucks as of the recording of this video. And I want to be presenting some secret data in the background that is actually not, well, generally publicly available, and I do think shed some light on the current situation. As always, I want to remind myself that we have changed the name. We've changed the name of the Crown Quant automation service to Quant Prime. It's the same service that allows you to create, test, and automate your trades. And in fact, we saw one of these setups yesterday based off of the Monday setup right here, which was simply opening a long trade on Monday at 0 UTC and then closing that trade on Tuesday at 10 a.m. UTC, which is actually going to be closed in the next 44 minutes and 28 seconds. So this one very likely going to be a winner here. We have seen that overall, if you back test this strategy all the way through 2013, and yes, we can go through the full history as well, although just the returns get so much more crazy. So that's why I choose 2013. And in this case, we can see that basically just blindly following this strategy has been, a coin flip's probability in terms of whether it's going to close positively or negatively. However, the profit factor being, relatively high for those positive closing trades does net a pretty nice equity curve over time. I should also probably explain what the sale is for the Quant Prime for the Quant Prime service, as we have had the renaming of it. You can actually get the first month for 50% off with the code PRIME50 here, PRIME50 in all capitals. You can set up shit like this. I mean, I probably wouldn't trade this actual strategy, but you can use it as a basis for other things, understanding that those positive returns typically do come in on Monday, and you can also set up whatever the hell else you want as well. We have a whole library of strategy templates that you can, pick and choose from and iterate on top of those. It is not designed for the lobotomized out there in the world, so I would suggest that if you are extremely new or actually lobotomized, avoid it until you get some experience under your belt. But yeah, in this case, again, performance summary, I do believe from yesterday's video, the average winning trade returned about 4%, the average losing trade losing just over 3%. This one obviously going to be a little bit on the greater side than 3%, it looks like already. Yeah, 4% for the winning side would have put Bitcoin about 70,500 right now. Bitcoin, 600, 700 bucks above that number. So, again, averages are averages, variance around those, but in this case, probably going to be yet another win right here, as this does look pretty damn good. Anyways, moving on from there, I did want to also just briefly follow up very, very quickly here on the 5-day setup. If we can actually just load it up, there we go. We can see that this one is still live. Again, explaining the setup right here, it is designed to catch long trending moves. Whenever Bitcoin has a major trending move, and when I mean major trending move, the kind that really only happen a few times a year, it begins and ends with a close above and below that red 5 exponential moving average. You can see from all this data back tested through 2018, it has had less than a 50% strike rate, but because the profit factor is so high at 3.7, these major gains make up the bulk of that, of that equity curve. And basically, this sort of strategy or any trending strategy is really this. Most of the time, you're making small gains, small losses, going sideways, just not fucking up your equity that much so that you can keep it available for the big, massive fucking blow-ups, over here where you get these amazing returns. That is the purpose of a moving average strategy that is designed for trend trading. And this is a very, very simple one right here. Again, if you're using this service and you have half of a brain, you can probably figure out ways to optimize on top of it. Being a little bit more mean with my language today, but it's necessary. I have to scare away the people who should not be getting in a service like this because it is not a done-for-you signal service. It requires some thinking. Anyways, let's jump into the actual topic of the title, or the content of the title, and go over the best thing about this breakout and why it's going to go for so much more. By the way, this one over here usually returns about 30% on those major winning trades, in some cases even more. Anyways, it's actually due to my YouTube analytics data, which I wanted to start off. Well, actually, we can start off. Hey, did it? Oh my God. Okay, yes, it did save. Okay, great. All right, so first I want to start off with a lower time frame look at my YouTube views data. I think that this is a really good corollary to kind of figure out, how far along in the cycle are we? And that'll become very fucking clear once we get to the all-time data. But even just looking at the 90-day data right here, I think it's very interesting to see that the views on my channel have been steadily downtrending, basically since, for the last 90 days, even though Bitcoin is, it's for all intents and purposes that it's at all-time highs. It is, which you would think there would be significant interest. You would think there would be significant interest because surely everyone's paying attention when Bitcoin's on the precipice of a major, massive breakout. But no, this is actually the way that it's typically always been. Even when we go to the 365-day look back here, it's been steadily downtrending really the whole year, since last December, I would say. Remember, this encompasses the time where Bitcoin ran up to $74,000 at first, and in this year in March. So again, relatively low interest. You can see every metric is basically downtrending here. Yes, I've gained a few watch time, I guess, and subscribers, but ultimately the thing that we're most interested in is views. That represents the interest in this market extremely well, and I think that this will become abundantly clear when looking at this chart, which is the lifetime views of this channel. The lifetime views of this channel, I think, is extremely revealing. One, this channel began in March of 2018, kind of in the heart of the 2018 bear market. That was when this channel got going, because it's a long story how this channel got going. But basically, I was writing analysis on this fucking MISC bodybuilding forum, which was hilarious, very, very strange place, but also very great place. Then it turned really fucking weird. So I decided I got really tired of just writing out these long ass fucking paragraphs. So I decided, okay, I might as well just make some videos off this. And then I just shoot it out to the group, and then the videos just kind of got a life of their own, got a lot of recognition, and help from Elliott Trades along the way, which is why I absolutely love him, among other things as well. And you can see that the views on this channel per day are similar to the views on this channel that we saw in 2019 during the sort of mid-cycle rally where Bitcoin went from about $3,000 to $14,000. What's interesting about this is that the total subscribers on this channel during that time in 2019, specifically for that rally, in this part right here, I'll get my cursor away from it right now so you can see for yourself. The interesting thing about that is that the total subscribers on this channel was below 30,000, and I think it was just actually marching up to about 20,000, maybe just getting over 20,000, which was amazing at the time. And for contrast, as of today, you can see that the subscribers in real time right here is above 195,000. So almost 10x, maybe even close to 10x. The numbers from about 5 years ago when the views were essentially the same. Bitcoin is obviously 6x higher than the high that we did see in the summer of 2019. But views, they're actually lower. They're actually lower right now. Per day view right now is about mid 15s. Let's call it $15,000 on average, or sorry, 15,000 on average, whereas the highs over here were, in the deep 20s. So almost double actually from the worst period right here. Again, this is with Bitcoin at all-time highs, essentially. And of course, this whole relationship was seen exactly in the past cycle as well, in the 2020 to 2021 cycle, where the views on this channel were steadily downtrending the whole way through until really the beginning of 2021. That's when I start to see some higher lows and higher highs there. And you can see that the views on this channel didn't even explode above the prior all-time high until, that cycle was mostly over. This was summer of 2021. And then, of course, the precipice of these views, which was absolutely insane, was November of 2021. The all-time highs for Bitcoin as well correlates incredibly well right there. and then steadily downtrended after that, except for this one spike that we did over here. But this was August the 5th, where Bitcoin had a one-day bear market, or just general markets had a one-day bear market. So again, and even compared to 2021, subscribers on this channel was about 100,000. So looking at the numbers over here, comparing it with 2021 and also especially 2019, to me, this tells me that very few, certainly no new people are coming into this market right now. Almost no new new people, and even the old people are not that interesting, are not that interested at all here as well. So what do I expect to happen? Well, I don't really expect to see a major high for this market until at least we see the highs from 2021 retested. I mean, in terms of viewers here. So I do think that this does bode well for this breakout, and very likely it goes much more. I mean, in order to get that exuberant irrationality in the markets again, something crazy needs to happen. So this was data that I've actually been putting out there like every month or so, and I'll continue to do that. But just so you know kind of where we're at, if you have been here for a long time now, these are the numbers. Like, they just continued to downtrend again, which is exactly what we saw in 2020 as well, before that mega breakout. But right here, you would expect things are so much more, but no, I think it's a very humbling look at things because, well, we just don't see that in the data yet. Doesn't, and of course, it very likely does come. I mean, assuming that my channel just doesn't completely fall off the cliff, which is definitely possible, of course. But for now, I'd say this breakout is real. It's likely to continue for much, much more. And yeah, that's really all I'll say about that. Anyways, last thing here that I'll leave you off on is just the weekly HPDR for CME. You can see Bitcoin now occupying the space between the 38.2 level and the 50% level right here. I do think that we're going to get a shot at the 50% level either this week or next. That is basically the all-time high, 74,420. From there, any sort of break and close above the 50% level, I'm going to look at that as like, get ready for just a really major trending move, like very soon. We've gone over the November statistics. I do think that that's still very much relevant here as well. Tentatively looking somewhere around like very high 80s to very low 90s for that move. Maybe that happens over the course of November/December. And then, we see where that kind of takes things into the first quarter of 2025. But yeah, to me, this is looking all good in the hood. Still, I always like to come up with invalidations, essentially numbers that if met would make me reconsider this whole analysis or just nullify it. And it's very simple right here. Coming back down below last week's low, which is 65,174. That would do it for me. Until then, up is the direction. And that's all that we have for today. Anyways, I'm going to be signing off on that note. I also forgot to mention how long the damn sale goes on over for here until November 1st. So you got a couple more days, and then you're left in the dust, left in behind. But of course, watch the promotion video that goes alongside of it. I'll actually upload it tonight as well. It'll explain who is for, who is not for, what to essentially expect in that. And I think that's where we'll leave things off for today. As always, I want to wish you the best of best. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully tomorrow.